Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Please unmute and acknowledge.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good, good. God bless you. Thanks for joining this session, and we will be starting
Yes,
within
sir.
couple of minutes. Um, Let me share my screen. Uh, Before the start of this session, if you have any questions, please you can ask. I hope you able to complete the assignment one and two. I check that, and some of you shared your work on WhatsApp group. I thanks all of the students who shared their work, and I hope that other also have implemented this. If you have any concern, any question before the start of this session, yeah, please you can discuss. We can discuss that. So, okay, well, once again, I request you to switch on your cameras if possible, because it's very important to be interactive and engage in the session. And I also strongly recommend everyone to please carry your notebook and pen with you, because we will be discussing very important notes uh, along with the discussions. So I know that there are a lot of students from DAV College Amritsar. Can you raise your thumb, those who are from DAV College Amritsar? Those students who are from Thapa? Good, I'm getting response. I hope this is response for DAV College Amritsar. Good. Anyway, good. First of all, I really thanks all of you for joining this session. I know that this is not easy to have commitment to daily attend these weekly attend these sessions. So I feel very happy that you all connected and joined this session. So let's start our discussion for this session. So we have two objective in this session. Let me discuss what is our plan. So in this session, we are starting with again GitHub part, and I will be discussing with you. mm, I will be discussing with you about uh, GitHub workflows, and there are two very important concepts in GitHub. One is forking, and another is cloning. So I will explain you how these forking and cloning work, and along with that, we will discuss GitHub commands. And of course, we are going to discuss another new tool in this session, and that is GitHub Desktop. So, yeah, there will be a lot of new learning in this session, and I recommend all of you to download this GitHub Desktop. I hope you have already downloaded that software. If not, uh, please, after this session, you need to download that software on your machine based on your operating system, and then we will be working with GitHub Desktop. So when we work on GitHub on your local machine, there are two ways to work on that. One is by using GitHub Desktop, and another is using command line interface by using GitHub commands. So I will uh, train you on both the aspects, how to use GitHub commands and how to use GitHub Desktop. So we will be doing all those task through hands-on by considering a real life project. And I hope that after end of this session, you will have fair idea how these technologies actually work. So let's start this session. So I hope you know from our previous discussion that in GitHub, actually, we have some repository, and then we learn in our previous session how to create GitHub account. Then we learned in our previous session how to create a repository, and we also discussed that we don't work on a main branch. We always create a child branch, and then we worked on the child branch. So whenever we have to make changes, we make all the changes in child branch, and then we merge it with the main branch. So in the last session, we learned in detail how to create child branch and how to merge it with that. So this is the major learning in our last session, if I consider practical aspects about that. So in the last session, we discussed that how to create the repository, and after that, we learned how to create branch, how to commit changes in the child branch, and then we learn how to merge it with the main branch. So these are the tasks which we completed in our previous lab 1 and lab 2. In this session, I have another lab for you. You'll see that there are 24 pages PDF file that we will be working on this PDF file in this session. And in this session, our objective is broadly to discuss the concept of merging, cloning, and forking. So we will discuss what is the meaning of fork, what we will discuss what is cloning, and how these ideas work. So in order to first explain those concepts, I will be using my presentation to give you a overview about how these things work, why we require the concept of forking and cloning, what are these concepts. And once you are familiar with these concepts, I will be shifting to the hands-on session. And of course, in the end of this session, we will be having a quiz. So this is our plan, and I hope that I will able to complete that in next 1 hour. So let's start our discussion. So So what we learned in our previous session that GitHub workflow is very important for version control because in Agile we have to continuously develop our softwares. There will be multiple versions. So in order to handle that version control, we require GitHub. Through this tool, it's very easy to collaborate. Multiple people can collaborate in a single project, and it helps us to resolve code conflicts and overwriting work. So it reduces the chance that you can overwrite someone else work. So there will no any overwriting. There is a completely defined workflow through which one has to create the branch and then merge and review of code. So everything is there, which help us to ensure version control collaboration without code conflict and overwriting of work. So let's discuss step-by-step approach, how normally we go with that. So just give me a minute. I have to share something. Yeah. So the first task is cloning a repository. Then we learn that we have to create a branch. And once we create the branch, we have to commit all the changes in that branch, and then we push it to the main repository. So these are the steps which we normally follow. So you know that we have a remote repository which is available in the GitHub, and it's very important that whenever we work, we normally work on our local machine. But in previous session, we worked on that GitHub tool. You know that we used web-based GitHub, and I created the branch and I uploaded everything, make all the changes in the child on the GitHub. That is web tool. But normally, you know that you work on your own laptop. You directly don't you will not be directly working on that web platform. It's very important that you clone everything which is available on the GitHub repository to your local machine. I hope you got my point. So it's the first important step to work on a project is to clone your project, which is available in the GitHub repository, to your local machine. And here the cloning come into the picture. Cloning mean that you can clone your web GitHub repository to your local machine. So let's suppose we have a remote repository, which is a GitHub repository, and the first task will be to have that repository on your local computer or local laptop, so that you can design more features. And once you are done with that, you will push all those changes into a remote repository. So I hope you got my point, that it's very important to pull everything from remote repository to your local machine and make all the changes. And once all the changes are done, you have to push back into remote repository. And in order to do all these tasks, cloning come into the picture. So with cloning, we can create copy of any remote repository on our local machine. We work on our repository project, and once all the changes are done, we can push all those changes into remote repository. So this pull and push are the two operation which are very important in cloning a remote repository on our local machine. So Rahmat Jod has some questions, raised hands. Rahmat Jod, you can ask anything if you have any question in mind.
So am I audible?
Yeah, yeah.
So won't it be like a very tedious process and it will obviously reduce the efficiency of the project? Like first we have to push and pull and it's like really repetitive.
So try to understand the situation. Let's suppose there is a project in which 10 members are working on the project. So everyone will be working on their local machine, and at a central place we require a project where you will maintain your final project. So the final project is maintained on the local repository. I have one figure to explain that point in a better way. So just give me a minute. I can show you, I think, through this. Yeah. So this is what my point is. So this is the GitHub repository. So on GitHub repository, let's suppose there are 3 or 10 members who wish to work on a project. Everyone, of course, will work on your local machine because you require a lot of tools, softwares to work on a project. It may require some databases. It may require some front end tools, which may not be available directly on web platform. So you need to put all those changes into your local machine. So every developer will have the whole project in their local machine. They develop various versions. So let's suppose on feature one, this developer one is working on feature two. Developer two is working, and developer three is working on feature three. So all three are working on different features. So once they are done with that, they will they will push that changes to GitHub repository, and there is a main project manager who will be review their code. And if we think everything is okay, then he will merge or accept those changes, and it will be pushed back to the main GitHub repository. So you can think that there is a central uh, project code which always accurate, and you will work on the copies of that central project code. Once you're done, you submit all those changes to remote repository, and there is someone who review your code, and if everything is okay, then that will be merged to the main branch at the GitHub. So that way it will always remain updated. So I hope I answered your question with this, and you got an idea that there will be multiple person who are working simultaneously. And we always work on our local computer, because when you work on a project, it require multiple softwares which will be installed on your machine. So this is the pull and push, and that is here the cloning come into the pictures. So I hope now you also know that we normally don't make any changes directly in the main branch. We always create a child branch, and then all the changes are made on the child branch. So let's suppose there is a project manager who will be responsible to create GitHub repository. So he will put all the files for the project in his local machine. He set all those files for staging area, where he will push all those files to the remote repository. and then a remote repository will be created. So here is the remote repository which will be created by your project manager. So these are the files which are available on his local machine. He stage all those files and then push those files to remote repository. And then you will be working on those remote machine local copies, and you will be making all those changes on those local repository. But now the question, so here you see that this is the files, initial files. So project manager will set up the files, perform initial commit, and create GitHub repository for the project. So this is the repository which is created by project manager. And then as a developer, you will be using this to clone this repository on your local machine. So you will be creating branches, working on that, and then finally you will merge all those stuff on your machine. So this is actually cloning. Now let us consider one another situation. Through this I will try to explain what is forking, and then I will start explaining that particular idea to all of you. So there are two important concepts: one is cloning and another is forking. So I hope at this point you simply get an idea. Cloning mean that creating copy from your GitHub, your own GitHub, to your local computer, and then it's all about push and pull between your machine and GitHub repository. Now the question is, what is forking? So let's suppose there is a one platform. I have created a diagram to explain that point. So let us consider this situation. There is a open source online store web platform which is developed by IBM. So there is a already project which is developed by IBM, and let's suppose this is an online store. And this online store is based on US, and it has no concept of cash on delivery. It has everything, but there is no feature of cash on delivery, and it is open source. So let us consider a situation that you wish to use this open source and you want to extend this open source, which is developed by IBM, for cash on delivery feature. So instead of building everything from scratch, what you will be doing, you will be taking that uh, someone else repository and push that repository into your own repository. You got my point? So this is the repository which is owned by IBM, and they make it public. Let's suppose there is an open source project. They make it public, a online source code which help you to create a web online store. And there is no feature of cash on delivery. You want a online store with cash on delivery. So the idea is that instead of developing everything from scratch, what you will be doing, since this is open source, so you can simply copy someone else's repository into your own repository. You got my point? So this is the repository of IBM, and you can create replica of that into your own GitHub account. And when you create that, it is someone else GitHub account to your GitHub account, and that process is called as forking. So forking means that there is there is a project which is not your own project. This is owned by someone else. It is available on GitHub for public domain. You can simply port it into your own GitHub repository. So this whole project, now this will be in your own GitHub repository, and from this you will start building on that. So that process is called as forking. So it means that now this project will be on your GitHub account, and you hire a developer who will be working on that. So you will ask that developer to clone it. So that developer will clone it so that this project, which is available in your GitHub account, will be cloned to his or her local machine. And that process is called as cloning. So now everything will be available on his or her machine. So he will be working on that local copy, and it is recommended to always keep main branch as intact. So he will be creating a branch on the local machine, and in that child branch he will be working on the code which is required to build that feature. Once he's satisfied that everything is okay, he will merge this with the main branch. So all these tasks Try to understand that. All these tasks is now performed on the local machine of the developer. So here, this is developer's local machine. He will create branch, child branch, and make all the changes in the child branch and merge these changes in the main branch. But everything is still on the local machine. So finally, from local machine, he will push all those changes to this remote repository. You can consider it like this. So here, he will push all those changes back into those GitHub account. So these changes will be updated in your GitHub account. So this is just like cloning. You are pulling the data and then you are pushing the data. So this is the way it works. So once you are done with that, even then you can submit those changes to original IBM. So even you can send those changes to someone else from where you own that code. So you can submit all the changes to the parent source, that is original upstream. We call this as original upstream. So you can submit all the changes to this parent source for review. So you can send to IBM that, okay, you have developed a cash on delivery feature. So if you wish to incorporate, IBM people can review your update. And if they like that, they can even add this into their own repository. So I hope you got my point. So this particular process where we are creating the copy from someone else's repo to our own repo, and that process is called as fork. And clone mean from your own repo to your own machine. So this is your repo on GitHub, and you are just cloning it on your machine. You make all those changes, then you push all those changes to your own repository, but you can also push all those changes into someone else's repository, and he can review that changes. And if he agree all the changes, he like your changes, like your feature, he can update it. You can consider it like this. Let's suppose this is a Linux operating system, which is a public project. So there is a one open source project. So one can simply create fork, put that everything on your GitHub account, and then you can start working on those aspects. So I hope you got my point. If you have any question on this diagram, please unmute yourself and ask the question. Yeah, please. I'm looking for your questions.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please.
So forking is just cloning, but the file is in someone else's repository, right?
And in cloning, the copy is created on your local machine. Here, copy is created into your GitHub account. You got my point? There is a GitHub account of IBM, and this is your GitHub account. So from IBM GitHub account, you are creating copy into your own GitHub account. That is called as forking. Once you have your data in your GitHub, then you can copy that in your local machine. That is called as cloning. So forking means from GitHub to GitHub, and GitHub to local machine is called as cloning. Any other question? Okay, so I hope once we discuss all those things practically, so I give you a complete overview what we are doing in this session. So in this session, we will be doing all these tasks practically. So our hands-on session is all about this. So there is a IBM remote repository which we will be using. So we will first create fork, then we will create cloning. We will now work on the local machine. Everything will be on our machine. We make some changes, then we push those changes to our own repository as well as to IBM repository. So this is all what we are doing in this session. So our hands-on session is all about this pipeline. So I hope this give you an idea. Let's read this slide. So cloning is used when you want to create a local copy of your repository. So cloning is about when you create a local copy of your repository, and forking is used to create a new project based on existing one, allowing you to modify or extend the original project independently. So there is someone else's project. So you will be just creating a copy of that. So forking allow us to work on someone else's project. allow you to modify or extend it. For example, it was IBM project. It allow us to add another feature, and we can work it independently, irrespective of what IBM people are doing. So we just create a fork, and we can work independently of that. And you can also contribute back to the original project by submitting pull requests. So you can also contribute back to IBM that, okay, you have developed this feature of cash on delivery, and they can review it. And if they like, they can merge that with their main branch. So we will be doing all those stuff through hands-on. So let's now move to our PDF file and do all those steps practically. So with this discussion, mm, mm, mm. Okay, so I have created a task for you. This is about uh, lab exercise third, which is about forking and cloning. So first step is how to fork the repository. And as I told you, we will be working with IBM and we learn how to fork it. So this is a link which is about a project from IBM. Let me close this. Yeah. So you see that this is the GitHub of IBM. So IBM Developer Skill Network, they have created, let's suppose, this repository. And this is the code which is available in this repository. This is not in my GitHub account. This is still IBM network, and they have created this. So now my first task will be to have this repository, which is from IBM, into my GitHub account. And in order to create copies of that, I need to use forking. So I will show you how everything works in a step by step. So on the first step is to use fork. So you see that there is an icon of forking. So it say that you need to click on that. And once we click on that, it helps us to create a copy. So let's do this. So I'm going to this. So there is a concept called as fork. Click on that. So it say that create a new fork. Let me go back. Hmm. So this is the repository, and then uh, we have to create fork so that it should come into my account. So you see, this is at present from IBM, and this is its URL. So, okay, I already have this fork. That's why I'm getting fork. So this is the fork which I have created. Let me delete this so that I can explain everything from scratch. Just give me a minute. So I have already created this. So here, these are my repository. So you see, this is the repository which I have forked. I will share the settings to delete that. So in the settings, there is an option to delete this repository. So I'm going to delete this repository. It say that type this in the box to make it sure that I'm really interested to delete this. Okay, so now this is my project, my GitHub account, and this is IBM's repository. So let's now start from scratch. So this is the sample source repository. Just click on that, and it will open this. So fork, create a new fork. And now you see that this is my GitHub account. So it says that it is creating a new repository with this name, but now this repository is created into my account. So here this will create a copy from IBM this folder to my accounts this folder, and you just need to write create fork. So once you are done, you see that now this is my GitHub account, and in this GitHub account, I have same repository. So this is very simple step. So I have already forked this into my GitHub account from IBM's account. So earlier it was on the IBM, and now you see that it is also available in my project in my GitHub. So this is called as forking. And now the next step will be to clone this into my local machine. So at present, this is on GitHub, and I want to add new feature. So in order to add new feature, I have to clone this. So in order to clone this, you have to go to code. So again, I am repeating the steps. You have to click on code, and you will see that there is a open with GitHub desktop option. So that's why I recommended you to download this GitHub desktop. So you just need to click on this, open with GitHub desktop. So open. Okay, I have to remove this. So let's do this step again so that I can show you this feature again. So code. So there is option open with GitHub desktop, open. So now this will open GitHub desktop, which I hope you have already installed. So you see that now it is saying that this is my URL from where I will be creating local copy on my this machine. So it says that this project will be copied from GitHub to C user Pratik documents project and this. So under this folder, I will be having this particular full project, and I just need to clone it. So everything will be cloned on my machine. So just write clone. So it will take some time, and now everything is available on your local machine, and you see that this repository is available uh, on this particular path. So when you click over this, you can see the path, and this is the code, and you can even directly open this project in Visual Studio. So just click on that, open in Visual Studio, and you will able to open. Now you see that this is on my local machine, and this is the same files which are available on this. You can compare that. So it has all those files. There is a one file called as style.css. So let's go back here, and you see all those files are here, and we will be working on this style.css file. So this is the project now which is available on my local machine, and I have created a copy by using GitHub desktop. So the process is very simple. Just you need to so here I have explained all the step, loan the fork repository. So it says go to code, and you just need to write open with GitHub desktop, and it required to download it, and you can simply clone it. And once you clone it, you can go to it will display the message that it will be going to create copy on your machine, and it will open everything on your Visual Desktop. So this is Visual Studio Code, and you can cross-check your different files in this, and now everything is available on your local machine. So I will take your question. Just give me a minute. So you see that at present I have only main branch. This is the project, and in this project I have only main branch. And I recommended you never work on the main branch, always create child branch, and then you will be working on that. So I will now explain how we can work on this local repository, which is available on my machine, how I can create the branch, how I can merge it. And in order to do all those process, I will also explain how to use GitHub commands. Yeah, at this point, if you have any question, you can unmute and you can ask me any question, please.
Sir,
Yeah.
Sir, can we do forking in GitHub desktop?
No. So forking is only available from GitHub to GitHub account. So first of all, it should be on your web account. So desktop is about your own machine, and it shows all the project which are on your machine, and you can only play with your own repository which you own it, and that way it works.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, if you have any other question, yeah, please you can ask. So now we can even create the branches. As I told you, this is the main branch, and you need to create child branch before working on that. So there is an option branch. You can create a new branch. So you can do everything in this graphical user interface in GitHub desktop. So now this will create a branch on your GitHub account or on your machine. Can anybody tell me? If I use this option, branch, new branch, so it will, at present, I have only one current branch, main. If I use this branch, new branch, it will create child branch. But where it will be created? On my machine, or it is going to create it on GitHub account? Can anybody tell me?
On your machine.
Sir, on
Yeah,
your
so
machine.
here it will create on my machine. So once you are done with that, then there is an option merge into current branch. So this merging will be performed on my machine or GitHub account. This
Machine.
merging,
GitHub.
On machine.
yeah,
On
on your
machine.
machine, on your machine. So here, if you create a branch, if you merge it, everything will be done on your local machine, and there is a graphical user interface to do all those tasks. But along with that, there are also commands which are important. So now I'm going to shift to this. Uh, so all these are the settings which are important. And there is the option to open command prompt. So as I mentioned, we will also be learning about GitHub commands. So let's click on that. So you see, now I am already in this path. So see user Pratik documents project. So this is the project which we have created. And even you can see the directory. So everything is here. So now we will learn commands. Through commands, I will be creating branching, child branch, and through this, I will perform merge and all those stuffs. So all the stuff which we perform graphically about creating the child branch, performing merging, and so on. Now, in this session, we will perform all these tasks through command line interface. And in order to explain everything to you, again, I will be using this PDF resource. So let's go back to our original document so that we can start experiment on that. Okay, so um, let me minimize this. So this was my PDF file. So now we reached at exercise 3. So there are 24 pages which we have to complete in this session. We are at page number 7. So it says that create feature circle 500. So our objective is there is a file called as CSS file, which I already show you. So it says that we have to change the dimensions of the circle. This is what we want to make. So let me show this again. So there is a style.css, and you see that in this we have width and height of the circle. So we want to change that width and height of the circle. But if I make that changes directly, these changes will be made in main branch. So I don't want to make any changes in the main branch. I wish to make all those changes in the child branch. So I want to change width and height of this repository in style.css. But instead of directly working on main branch, I wish to make all these changes in the child branch. So the first task will be to create the child branch, and it say that you need to go into your project folder in which I am already there. And now there is something called as this command git checkout. So you can read it. To create a new branch, we can use this git checkout with tag flag as -b, and this is my child branch. So it will create a child branch, feature circle 500, and it will create that branch, and it will then make that branch as a active. So at present, I have only one branch. Let's see how many branches I have. So there is a, I'm going here. So if I type git branch, so you see I have only one branch, and that is main branch. Now I'm going to create a child branch. So it says in order to create child branch, use this command. So I'm going to copy this, and this is my command prompt. So I'm now saying git checkout. Checkout means that it will check out from main and create this feature circle 500. So you see, it displayed the message switched to new branch. So it means that a new branch is created with feature circle 500, and you can even check it by writing git branch. So you see that now there are two branches. One is main and this, and star is now added with feature circle, mean that now this is the active branch. So I have created a branch, child branch. Interesting thing is that if you go to your desktop, you can see that this automatically get updated, and now it is saying that a another branch is there, and now I am in the child branch, that is feature circle 500. So I hope you got my point. As I'm making changes in my command prompt, all those tasks are also reflected in GitHub desktop. So it automatically get updated, and now it says that there are two branches, main and feature, and the feature circle is active. So I hope you got my point. And if I open this now in my Visual Studio, it will open my child branch. So this is my child branch. And as I mentioned, I have to make changes in my style.css file, which is at present 300. So let's change that to 500. So now I'm making all the changes in my child file, because you see it was active. So it means that everything is now working in that, and I'm just saving all those changes. So I saved all those changes and get back. So you see what happened. As soon as I made the changes, GitHub Desktop is able to recognize that I have made the changes in my this current branch, which was originally 300, 300, and now I have changed that to 500 and 500. So this is what version control is. You can trace what changes you are making. So I have made changes from this to this, and I just made that changes in the current branch. So GitHub Desktop have that knowledge, and you see that it know that all those changes are been made in the file. But still, these changes are not committed to my current branch. It recognized that there is something changed in my file, but that changes are not committed in this front branch. So you see there is a something called as commit to feature circle. So mean that I have saved those changes in my CSS file, but it is not saved in my current branch. So in order to save those changes in current branch, you can write commit, and it will be committed into your child branch, which is your front branch right now. But as I mentioned, you can do it through graphical user interface, and you can also do this from your command line. So I will be discussing all those steps through command line along with that. So at this point, what we have, I will take your question after a couple of minutes. So what we learned, we have created the branch. Git branch will show that there are two branches. Feature circle is active. Then what I have done, I made all the changes in my local repository, and all those changes have been now updated. So there is one another command called as git status, which help me to identify what is the status of my git right now. So let me issue this command, git status. Okay, so this is my command prompt. So at present, I had made changes in my code, and now I check git status. So git status is saying that you are on a branch feature circle, changes not staged for commit. So it means that there are some changes in my file, but they are not updated into my git. So git status is saying that changes are not staged for commit. So in order to commit those changes, first you have to stage those changes. There is a you can say pre-step in that. So first you have to stage all those changes, and once you stage all those changes, then you can commit those changes. So at present, Git status also know that the changes are not committed into my child branch, and my child branch is not updated. So let's go back to my PDF. So it give me an idea that all the changes which we have made is not. So this is what I have changed, and we check the Git status, and it says that it is not updated. And even you can use Git difference. It can highlight what is the difference between original and what changes I have made. So let's run this command and see what kind of output you are getting. So let's go here and write git difference. So git difference is giving you the same output which you see in your GitHub desktop. So I hope you are getting my point, that whatever we are able to see in my GitHub desktop, we also have corresponding commands to check that. So git status difference is saying that in your file you have updated from this to this, but this is not reflected. This is not committed into your child. If you have any question, you can ask me at this point. Yeah, please.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Are all the commands same for terminal also?
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course. So all these commands are same. So now we have to all make all the changes committed to my child branch. So there is a one command called as git add. So this will stage all the changes. So let's write git add command. And once you write git add, it will stage all those changes. So you see, it was saying that uh, changes are not staged for commit. So it means that first of all, I have to stage the changes. And it also giving me recommendation that use add file to update what will be committed. So I have to tell update what will be committed to my child branch. And it say that for this, I have to use git add command. So let's use that command. So git add dot mean that all the changes which are available in this current folder will be staged for commit. So all these changes will be staged for commit. And now you have staged it. Let's run this now, git difference again. So you see that now there is a no difference. It means that earlier I was getting this message, uh, these changes are not staged, but now these are staged. So you see git add works, and it has staged all these changes. So, but still all my changes are not committed. So here still I am getting the option for commit. So I have to commit all those changes. So there are two steps to commit. I can conclude in that way. So in order to commit your changes, first step is to stage it by using add command. And then the second step is to use git commit command. So git command should be followed with git add command. So here what I'm saying that you need to commit these changes, and along when you commit it, you can give your own message that what changes are there. So with flag M, you specify your own customized message that I'm changing the height and width of the circle. So this is I'm in local repository, and I can simply say that git commit. So let's go back. So you see, at present, this commit button is enabled. It's saying that it still has not committed into feature circle. I'm it is pending to commit all these changes in my child branch. So now I'm doing all these changes by using commit command. So I'm issue commit M with my message. So it says feature circle this, changing height, width, and this one file change to insertion to no deletion. So it has all those points which are now committed. Let's go to this desktop. So you see, um, if you see that, so it just say committed just now, and changes and height of this and this. So GitHub desktop reflected that recent update, and it says committed just now, and it is already committed with this message. So you can commit it directly by click on that. But of course, there is a command which I had explained to you that yes, through GitHub commands, we can do all these changes. So let's understand what we done from command point of view. So there is a one command called as git status. It will show you what is my status of git, and it says that my child is not updated. And you can see the difference by using git difference command. Then you can commit all those changes by using two commands in step one and step two. You have to stage it and then you have to commit it. So there is staging and there is committing. Stage will push, look all the differences and keep it ready for commit. And then you issue the commit and all the changes will be updated in your child branch. But still, so let's go back to desktop. So you see that all the changes, this is my child branch. And if you open this in Visual Studio, you will see that it will have updated code. So this is the updated code. And now I can go back to main. So this is main. And now if I open this in Visual Studio, what will happen in style.css? Will it show 300 or 500? What do you think? If I check in main, it will show 300 or 500? Yeah, pardon?
300.
Updated, sir.
Yeah, it will show 300. So 300 is in main, but 500 is in my child. So in child branch, we have already updated, but still it is not merged to main. So we have performed one step. So all the changes are now incorporated in the child branch. So the next step will be to merge all these changes with the main branch. So you can see this is your child branch. If you open this in Visual Studio, there is 500. But if you open main branch, it is still carry 300, mean that the changes in the child are committed only in the child. They are not committed in the main. Main is still 300. So now I have to merge my child branch with main branch so that main branch should also have 500. You got my point? So at present, main is different from the child. All the changes are committed up to child, but they are not committed in the main. So in order to commit those changes in the main, you can directly commit to main. It means that all those changes will be committed to main. So if you are using GitHub desktop, there is no need to worry about the command. You can simply write commit to main, and the main will also update it to 500. But if you are using command prompt, we have to go back to our uh, file, and which says how to merge your branch back into main branch. So all the changes are still in the child branch, and now we will be learning how we can merge those changes into child branch. So at present, you see that my current active branch is feature circle. So the first step is to make this uh, main branch as active. So for this, in order to go into main branch, this is the command. So let's copy that command. So at present, if you write git branch, you can see the active branch. Okay, now my active branch is main. So this is my active branch. So in order to make it active, so my main branch was active. So now git checkout main, and you see that I should be in this feature branch. So if you write git branch, and asterisk should be on the feature circle. So I'm writing git checkout main so that I can check out from main. So let's write that already on main. So your branch is up to date and original. So git branch. So you see, I am in the main. Okay, so let's go here. So check out the main, and if you run git branch again, you will see the asterisk sign against the main. So this is what we already done. So now it is the time to merge it. So I will write git merge this feature circle 500. So this is my child branch, and I will be merging that into my main branch. So let's do that. So I am in the main. I just write git merge feature circle 500. So it has now make all the changes, and it is updating the main branch. Let's go here, and you see it sees committed 6 month changes, height, and this. So all the changes now has been reflected in the main. So you see in main now I have 500. So my main branch is also now having 500. Child was also having 500. So now it is merged with my main branch, and all the changes are now reflected in my main branch. So this is what we have done. So we have performed all the tasks which is required for child branch. So once the task of child branch is over, you can even delete the child branch. So in order to delete the child branch, you can use this command git branch -d feature circle. So it will delete that particular branch. So at present, I have both the branches, which is main branch and child branch. Since the task of child branch is over, because I have already updated those changes in the main branch, so you can delete it by using this git branch delete. So, okay. So in order to delete that branch, I should not be in that branch. So I shifted to a main branch. So I was in main branch, and then I deleted my child branch. You see that if you write git branch, now there is only one main branch. So even you can delete your child branch. And if you go here, you will see that now there is only one branch. So I hope I explained that you can do all those operations by simple click from GitHub desktop. But of course, there are commands which you can also follow to perform all the operations on the command prompt. And here we have deleted our child branch. And now you see that all the changes are available on this GitHub desktop. And in my main branch, on my local machine, I have the changes 500 and 500. I have now at this point question for you. So if I open this on GitHub, will it show me 300 or 500? Have I pushed those changes to GitHub, or still they are on my local machine?
Still on local machine.
Yeah, these are still on your local machine. So you need to push those changes to original GitHub. So you see that it says that push commit to original remote. So I hope this giving you enough idea that all the commit changes which you have performed, you can push that to your original remote. So if I write push origin, it will make all the changes in the main branch at GitHub. So if you are using GitHub desktop, you can simply do it by clicking on this button, and after this button, if you go to GitHub desktop, you will able to see that it is updated to 500. But at present, if I check my GitHub account, let's refresh it. So it is still same 300 300. So it is not reflected in my GitHub account because all the changes are still in my local machine. So now the task is how I can push all those changes from local machine to this GitHub account. So if you are using this GitHub desktop, it is very easy. Push origin, and it will push all the changes to your GitHub account. But of course, we have command for that too. So in order to push all those changes, what we can do, uh, one is this push origin, which I have already mentioned it, and another is So the command is git push origin main. So let's do that command. So this is a command line prompt, and I will write git push. Sorry. So the command is git push origin main. So git push mean that it will push all the changes to original main branch. So let's do this. So you see, it is taking some time because it is communicating with my remote repository, and this is giving me the path that all the changes has been committed to this GitHub repository. So now you can see that it has connected with the remote repository and push all the changes into that. Let's go to desktop first, and you see this is it has been refreshed automatically, and it says that it is now in sync. I can cross check this by visiting this. Let's refresh it. Now I am on my GitHub account, and at this point you see there is a changes. It says that 11 minutes ago, so it is updated. So let's open this, and you can see that it has been updated to 500. So I hope you got my point that I have started with original 500, 300 values, created copy of that, and then I'm able to switch it to my repository. So this is called as pull and push. So I have used push command to push all those changes back into my repository. So git push will push everything in your main branch to your remote repository. So we have updated our remote repository, and we just done all those performs. So you can refresh it. This is what we have just learned. So yeah, if you have any doubt up to this point in the whole pipeline, you can discuss this with me, and let's go back to our presentation to understand this once again, what we learned. So what I have shown to you that we have some open web platform from IBM. So in first step, we fork it. It means that I have created this a copy on my GitHub account. Then I show you how to clone it by using simple GitHub desktop. Then in on my machine, I have created a local branch, that is child branch. We learned we can create this through GitHub desktop and by using a command prompt. Then we merge this with the main branch, but all these changes was still on my local machine. Then I push those changes to my remote repo. So it means that my remote repo is now updated. And now there is only one point step which is pending, that you can also submit that changes, the changes which I had made from 300 to 500. I can also submit those changes to my original IBM repository, and they can review it, and if they like, they can change their value. So how to submit those changes to original upstream, that is the only task which is pending. So if you have any question, you can ask me at this point in the whole pipeline. Okay, so let's go
Sir,
back,
is there
and
any sir, is there any benefit of using command line?
yeah, so if you use command line, you have little bit more flexibility, and there are a lot of other options which you can do. So there is a whole set of commands through which you can analyze your Git repository in more details. So I will be sharing a manual of Git commands, which will help you to do some more stuff, which is sometime limited in GitHub desktop. But normally you can perform most of the operations with GitHub desktop too. But of course, having the knowledge of commands always beneficial, because you will able to appreciate how the things are performed internally. So yeah, that's why I recommended you to also learn all those basic command, at least how these things work. Okay, so now
Okay.
let's move to our last step. So last step is to create pull request. So at present, I have made all those changes in my repository, but I can submit those changes to IBM for review, and they can look into that. So let's go to my GitHub account. So I have to open my GitHub. So you see, this is my GitHub account, and this is now updated with a value of 500. You see that it is updated to 500. So go back here again. So there is something called as contribute. So name suggests to you So contribute mean that you want to contribute this to this original upstream. You see that I have this repository which is forked from this. So it know that it is forked from this repository originally, and you can contribute to that upstream. So for this, just click contribute, and it able to recognize that this branch is one commit ahead. So it know that in this branch there is one extra step which is not available in the uh, IBM original repo upstream. So you can open a pull request where my request will go to IBM, and they will review it, and if they like it they can merge it, otherwise they will close that request. So just write open pull request, and you see this is saying that the base repository is this. So this is comparing my main. It is taking the data from my main and pushing that data to IBM main. I hope you got my point. So the source is my main, and it is sending that data to IBM main, and I can write a message that okay, uh, I am sending my version. So you can explain a your note on that. You can give a title, and you simply it also shows what you have made changes. So it shows that originally it was 300, I have updated it to 500. So you can write detailed description about that changes, and you can create pull request. So when you create pull request, this request will go to IBM, and they will review it. So you see that it is open to now IBM, and they will here it says that Bhatia Pratik want to merge one commit into this. So it is from my main, and it is submitted to IBM, and now they closed it. So they have already write a script. So they just review it, and they will send you an email that you have performed the assignments successfully, and this is what the assignment is. So you will get an email that your assignment is successful on that part. Let me show you my email. I hope I will get that. So this now request is closed, and it's on my Thapar ID, I hope. So you see, this is the email which I have received from IBM, and it says that congratulations, you have completed lab closing the maintenance purpose. So I hope you will also get the same email after you complete all those steps. So I hope you will able to understand what is the pipeline in all those process, and how we able to clone a particular project, and how we fork it. And along with this, in the end, we have completed all those steps now. So I strongly recommend each one of you to complete all the steps. And then in the end, there is one also exercise for you, where it says that create a branch for add color. So hints are given, and you need to perform that particular exercise too. So I strongly recommend all of you to completely perform this all the 9 step, and of course also perform this 10th step for your practice, where you will learn how to change the color too. So once you do all these tasks, I hope you will get clear understanding, because once you do hands-on, it will improve your confidence, and you will have full idea how this whole pipeline is working. Yeah, if you have any questions, yeah, you can ask any question at this point. I'm not able to read your comments, so let's see your chat. So there is one question about copying someone else's repository. Yeah, of course. So basically, there are some public repositories. So it's mean that you are just copy the code. So there is no as such security concern, because it will not harm if you, of course, this is a source file, and you can only fork it if it is in a public. They have a setting public, otherwise you can't. Uh, yeah. So okay. Yeah. If you have any questions, yeah, please. Good. Now there is a time for quiz. So I have prepared a small quiz for you people. Let me open that. Last time I was not able to run your quiz properly. I hope that this time it will work fine. Okay. So it is just like a fastest finger first. You need to open your menti.com and please use this code. And even you can scan the QR code to start this quiz. So I'm waiting. Yeah, please join this. So
So you
it's
are not
menti.
present.
Okay, okay, just give me a minute. Yeah, of course. I have to share my screen. Thank you. Okay, yeah. So let's go back first. Okay, so I hope now you can do that. So this is menti.com and the code is given on your screen. Let's see how many of you join this. Please use this code. Okay, good. So we have now 28 players. So let's start. For every question, you will be getting 15 seconds. It's just like a fastest finger first. So those who answer it correctly and fast will get more points. And all the points will be cumulative. So in the end, we will be having our winner. Good. So this is the your score at this point. It will keep on updated after every question. So let's move to next question. So actually, it is based on the URL. So you need a URL for uh, a fork clone, a fork repository, because it will copy from that source URL to your local machine. So that is the main step. Let's get that. So now this is the last question. Let's see the final winners. Wow. So Vishesh is on number 1, Sebastian is on number 2, Ankur is number 3. So Vishesh, can you unmute and please introduce to all of us? Vishesh, please unmute.
Yes, sir. Good
Yeah,
afternoon,
please.
sir.
Good afternoon. Please introduce yourself to all of us.
Okay, myself is Raval. I'm from Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology, and
Wow.
currently I am doing CSE,
You are in
and
which
I have a
year?
lot of interest in open source. I'm third year, sir.
Third year. Good, good. God bless you. And you are from which city?
Udaipur, sir.
Udaipur. So you have summer vacations right now going on, or you are at Thapar?
No, sir, summer vacations.
Good, good. Congratulations, Vishesh. I hope it is beneficial to you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Sebastian, yeah, please unmute and introduce to all of us.
Good morning, sir.
Sebastian, good morning. Please introduce.
My name is Rehan. I'm from Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology, and I am in computer engineering branch from third year. And I'm from
Wow,
Bathinda.
good, good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Ankur, can you unmute and please introduce to all of us?
Good afternoon, sir. So I'm Ankur Dhawan. I'm from Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology. I will be starting my fourth year in computer science and engineering this July.
Wow. And you are from which city?
So I'm from Panchkula.
Good. God bless you. Laksh,
Good afternoon, sir. I'm from Thapar Institute of Engineering Technology, first year, and I'm from Delhi.
wow, good. Thank you. Thanks for joining. Rajrinder Singh.
Yeah, good morning, sir. I am from Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology, and I am in third year. I'm from CSC branch.
Thank you. Thank you. Sahib Singh.
Good afternoon, sir. I am from DAV College, Amritsar. I am in third year of BCA from Amritsar.
Good. Congratulations. You scored very well and then top 5 along with all the Thapar students. Good, Sahib. Congratulations. And I noticed you also submitted your assignments on WhatsApp group. Thank you. Thanks for doing all the work. God bless you. Manik, Manik, yeah, if you can unmute.
Hello,
Yeah, hi.
am I audible, sir?
Yeah, yeah.
So, I am from Amritsar Group of Colleges in CSE branch, third year, and I am
Mhm.
from
You are from?
Amritsar.
Good, good. Thank you, Manik. Karan, Karan, Metal, Sumit, please unmute and introduce to all of us. Karan, Metal.
Myself, Sumit, and I am
Mhm.
pursuing computer engineering at Thapar Institute.
And you are in which year?
Third year.
Good, good, good. So at this point, yeah, anyone please who are on the queue and please introduce. Okay, so I have very important message to all of you at this point, and I need your support. So you know that GitHub is a new concept for a lot of people, and I hope you can also help us to spread this knowledge to more number of people. So I'm looking for instructor for our next workshop. Of course, I need volunteer. So if you wish to conduct such kind of workshop again and spread this knowledge to more number of your fellow students, you are invited to contribute in that, and you can co-instructor. You can become a co-instructor with me in my next workshop. So if you are interested to contribute, I will share all the presentation notes to you so that you can do all the tasks successfully. It will be again online. So I will be planning to start next workshop in that in coming days. Of course, it will be based on your time zone and whatever time you are available. So if you wish to construct this next workshop with me, and of course it will be completely complimentary, there will be no fee. We done all the workshop free of cost. So in order to do it more regularly, I need your support. So if you are interested to spread this knowledge to more number of students, please ping me on my personal number. And yeah, and it will be a great experience for you. Also, I can issue you a certificate to you that you have assisted me in conducting that workshop as a co-instructor. You can use that certificate in your CV, and it will help you. So yeah, I'm looking for a person to conduct next round of workshops on this. And with this work, with this session, we able to complete GitHub, and in next session we will be starting with Dockers. So I will be discussing the theoretical background, why we require Docker, what is image, how we can create Dockers. So that will be a completely new learning for most of you people. So please join third session. And as I mentioned you, if you are interested to conduct another workshop on GitHub for your fellow students, so you are invited to do that, and you will be co-instructor with me. So please ping that information to me with your CV and your interest so that we can spread this knowledge to more number of people and we can build this as a continuous activity. So yeah, please. So thank you, and I will see you next week at the same time, and we will be discussing Dockers in that session. And after this session, I will be sharing the PDF file with all of you to perform some kind of homework, particularly uh, perform all the commands, command line task, as well as exercise 10, which is a homework for you. And do all the tasks and send me the PDF files. Thank you to all of you. God bless you. If you have any question, anything to discuss, we can discuss it. We have another couple of minutes. Please. So please keep on joining this workshop because we have only two remaining sessions. Your presence is only the motivation for me. So we have 40 participants in this session. So I wish to keep that number up until our last session. So please keep on joining. And of course, in next session, we will be discussing Dockers and containers. Thank you. God bless.